Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
7:07 now as we kick things off on hour 3. Thanks for being part of O'Connor and Company, and I'm glad we're here to get you rolling this morning. Coming up in 30 minutes, wake the kids. Actually, no. Don't let the kids anywhere near this conversation. Kurt Schlichter will be our guest. Talk about his brand new book. It's Larry O'Connor with Julie Gunlock. Good morning, Julie. How are you?
Good morning.
I was kidding. Kurt's a gentleman. He's an officer and a gentleman, in fact, and he's just fine with that conversation. Joining us right now, friend of the program, Carrie Severino with Judicial Crisis Network. What a remarkable and enlightening day at the Supreme Court yesterday, Carrie. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. Good to be here. It was a great day.
First, on the merits of this argument, this is Slaughter v. Trump. It has to do with the president and executive power with regard to so-called independent commissions and agencies like the FTC in this question. Can you just quickly divine why that's different than Spicer v. Biden? Biden came in and basically fired a bunch of political appointees that Trump had put in there. That these are appointees that had long traditionally been sort of transcended from one administration to the other. Spicer sued, and that set the precedent that this president has used to sort of clean house at the Kennedy Center, et cetera. How is that different than what we heard yesterday?
Well, in some senses, it's the same. It's Spicer versus Biden, and actually my own husband, Roger Severino, was fired in a similar fashion from a commission, and they lost at these lower courts because this Humphreys executor precedent is in place currently. This 90-year-old precedent the court's now reconsidering, and they were allowed to be fired ultimately because they were different from the FTC in that case. These are slightly lower level positions. They didn't have the same regulatory authority. And so this case really hits Humphreys square between the eyes because it is the FTC. You can't argue this is a little different than what they were looking at there because it's exactly the same agency, even if it's possible that some of the things it's doing are slightly different than they were in 1935. But it's the same agency. So now we can take that precedent out.
So, Carrie Severino, we played a lot of the audio about an hour ago, and I asked the rhetorical question, if the executive branch doesn't have agency over these, even though despite the first line of the Article 2 of the Constitution, then what's the argument? Those who were arguing on behalf of Ms. Slaughter, what's their solution? Who does have authority over these appointees?
Well, that's kind of the mystery. I think they would say this is created by Congress, and so Congress can kind of set the terms for how some of these heads of other agencies are dealt with, in allegedly independent agencies. And the real question for the court is, can we have anything that's actually independent of political control and of a political branch of government? One of the really enlightening lines of questioning was when they said, wait, what if we took all of the traditional cabinet positions and you just restructured them as a multi-member commission along the lines of the FTC? Could you do that? Could you then lock in, the head of the Department of Defense or the Secretary of State for the next 20 years by giving them really long terms? And they didn't really have a good answer for that. And not having a stopping point is death in a Supreme Court argument. So I think that's a real bad sign for them.
So the argument that appeared to be welcomed by Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was that, listen, for some of these things that the government does, it's so complex, you want experts in place. You don't want a new president coming in and just firing all these experts and putting in political appointees. You need to have experts who know their stuff and are credentialed and are going to be able to actually execute these very important and difficult government functions. What's wrong with that argument?
Well, the problem is we aren't a government of experts. We are government elected by the people. And are the people of America have to be able to have a voice in who is running our country. So we can't simply just offload to experts, all of our governance. And frankly, even if that were a, quote, better way to do it, we're stuck with the fact that the Constitution sets up the government a certain way. So if you think this is what we need to have government of experts, then, okay, let's get around to doing some constitutional amendments to do that. But we don't just have the Supreme Court overriding what our fundamental constitutional structure of three branches and checks and balances and all of that, because we think, well, I think I know how to do it better.
Sonia Sotomayor said, "You're asking us to destroy the structure of government," which seems a bit dramatic. But isn't that what we do every time we elect a new president? We allow him to sort of destroy what's been put in place. And again, that word is a little bit dramatic, but destroy what's been put in place and put his own people in. That's sort of the point, correct?
Yeah, she's going even farther, I think, though, because what she's saying is, look, for 90 years, we've been running the government this way where we assume large portions of the people who are making the real laws and regulations that we have to abide by as citizens that have major consequences for huge swaths of society, those people can be done separately. They don't have to be really fully accountable to the government. And, yeah, that would be a change. But what Solicitor General John Sauer was saying is, yeah, we're changing it to go back to the original understanding of the Constitution. So if this is a dramatic change, then what you're saying is right now we dramatically are departing from what the Constitution requires.
Based on your observation of the arguments and what the justices were saying, how do you think this one's going to come out?
Boy, I counted 5 or 6 votes at least for overturning Humphreys, at least in the extent that definitely Trump's going to be able to fire this FTC commissioner. Now, it's anyone's guess as to exactly how specific they get and how far this reaches. I think what we could tell from the arguments is there are going to be some unsettled questions after this, and after this case, so there will be more litigation. You know, does it apply to this agency? Does it apply to that agency down the road? But I do think this is a big step in the direction of presidential authority being returned to the office.
Is Trump, in his role here in sort of his actions bringing about this lawsuit, has he attempted to do something that really no prior president has attempted to do with regard to these agencies? And if so, why hasn't any other president tried to do this in the last several decades?
Well, I think part of, the perfect storm that we have here is the fact that you have a president who's willing to push the envelope on things, but the envelope was prepared, and the conservative legal movement for years has been working on this. The Supreme Court doesn't like to just walk in and overturn a precedent, even if they think that precedent's bad. You have to spend years kind of exploring the edges of it, pointing out how it is inaccurate, how it shouldn't apply here, it shouldn't apply there, and then eventually you start to look at the whole scheme that's out there and going, oh, this really doesn't fit, does it? That's what's been going on for decades. And what's interesting is, Biden actually took a lot of these steps last term, so we can maybe thank President Biden a little bit in firing people like Sean Spicer or Roger Severino. Yeah. He went through and kind of cleaned house, and so then it's like, all right, well, if Biden's going to do it, Trump's going to do it times 10, right? So that really opened the door for this next step. Not to mention the Supreme Court we have now. I mean, that really
there's that.
He really prepared the ground by putting those nominees on the Supreme Court in his first term, or he wouldn't have had a court that would be he could have fired anyone he wanted to, and they would have just said, nope, Humphrey's executor, and sent him home.
When you say Trump is willing to sort of push the boundaries, but what you don't mean constitutional boundaries, though, do you?
No, I mean if people might say, hey, we've always done it this way. I think the importance is trying to draw that line, and you can't go in and just say, well, I can do whatever I want and dare them to stop me. I think that is, and to the extent that there are people arguing for that, I don't think that's the way to go. Right? The way to go is to say, hey, we're going to be radically constitutionalist about this, and that does require some courage, but I think it's courage that's cabined in by our actual constitutional structure, and that's what can keep it from spiraling out of control.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to the decision when it comes down. Always informative, Carrie, and I give Roger our best. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks.
WMAL, making sense of the news, live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
Critter news, and it's my favorite kind of critter news because not only is it sports related, it's related to this Saturday's epic Army-Navy football game. It's going to be a great one, and it's local. It's in Baltimore. It's at the Raven Stadium, so technically that's going to be a home game. Weirdly, the last year's game was at FedEx, or Northwest, sorry. So it was right in Washington, D.C., but that was considered a home game for Army, which is weird because West Point is up in New York. Yeah. This one is in Baltimore. This will be Navy as the home team, and they've already been picked, by the way, to go to the Liberty Bowl to play Cincinnati. So it'll be an athletic conference matchup with Big 12 matchup. And West Point is going to the Fenway Bowl. They put a football field there on Fenway Stadium and Fenway Park, and Army will play UConn, University of Connecticut, in their bowl game. So there you go. They're already set for their bowl games. Championship brackets are already set. And now, of course, we'll have the famous Army-Navy game. There's a long tradition of pranks and rivalry between the two schools, as you can imagine. And for many years, there was this the attempt to steal the other team's mascot. And Bill the Goat is highly coveted. He's an amazing goat. Have you seen Bill the Goat?
I see him now. Yes. I looked him
we
up.
have a picture of Bill the Goat. He's an epic goat. He's a very special breed of goat with super curly hair, really funky curly curvy
and they painted
horns.
his horns.
They wrap tape around his horns, blue and gold tape, and there's always a junior. There's like a standby, an understudy goat. And in fact, this year at the final home game, they retired Bill 37, and now they have promoted Bill 38. This is the 38th version of Bill the Goat.
I mean, this is, if you're a goat, this is the life you want. Can you imagine
It's a damn good life.
How pampered you are. Whew.
Taken care of and much loved. They bring Bill out. All the kids love Bill. They see him before the game. And there's a couple of midshipmen that are assigned. They get a yearly assignment to care, feed, and protect Bill. That's their job all year, in addition to their academics and other things that they do.
Crazy.
Part of the Spirit team. And, of course, right now they are on a very careful watch for Bill. Now, I tell you this story because there is a viral video of some Army cadets from West Point bringing a goat that has the distinctive blue and gold tape on the horns and a little blanket over his back that looks like the Navy logo, and they bring it out onto a stage in an auditorium at West Point, and the cadets go nuts because they think they have stolen Bill the Goat. That is not Bill the Goat. So either you've got some deep state Army types who are lying and trying to deceive you.
Larry,
No, it is not. No, let me just tell you. You look. Yes, I am sure. Yes.
Did you see the goat?
If you look at the video, it is clear that is not Bill the Goat.
Before coming into the studio this morning, did you go and make sure over in Annapolis?
I didn't check on Bill. No, Bill is under very careful watch right now. I cannot get to Bill.
All right. Well,
nobody's going to get to Bill. And these cadets are either lying. This is dishonorable, actually, to pretend like they have stolen Bill the Goat when in fact they haven't stolen Bill the Goat. Also, if I may, if they had done this, it would be a violation of a peace treaty that was executed in good faith back in 1992, where both sides decided they would stop this and try. Other pranks are fine, but it's not going to involve animals.
They were actually stealing.
Oh yeah. This was
that's thing. Potentially very bad.
Legendarily, there was one back in 1956.
Don't tell me.
53, excuse me, where 6 cadets successfully kidnapped Bill 6, and then
did he survive?
They were ordered by top brass to return the mascot, and that's when it really started to get. He did survive, but let me tell you, actually, this is a tragic story. Army stole Air Force's Falcon. They have a Falcon.
Oh, what happened?
He died.
How?
Yeah. Well, these are very fragile animals sometimes.
Falcons I mean, they live a very probably pampered life.
Yeah, and falcons are not. They're not like
terrible.
Livestock. Yeah, that was pretty rough. That was kind of recently, actually. That
really?
Happened. Yeah, that was not good. But let me tell you about a great prank that happened in 2019. So now this is when my daughter was a plebe, and what happened was Army was was in possession of the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. They had won the as you know, the Commander-in-Chief trophy, the only trophy worth winning in college football, is the one where if one of the service academy defeats the other two, you get the Commander-in-Chief trophy. And if you all beat each other and it's just sort of a draw and each of you have one loss against the other, then it just stays with whoever won it last. And at this point, it was in West Point's possession. Now, they have an exchange student program amongst the service academies. In fact, and famously at the beginning of the Army-Navy game, they do it like a prisoner swap, like prisoner of war swap, and they let the Navy kids go back to the brigade and the Army kids go back to the cadets, and it's really fun and it's a big deal that they do before the game ceremonially. Well, a Navy midshipman was on exchange up in West Point in the fall of 2019. And 3 weeks before the game, he broke into the trophy case, stole the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, threw it in the trunk of his car, and drove it overnight down to Annapolis. And the commandant of midshipmen, during the meal hour in King's Hall, revealed this thing to the brigade. 1 week before, while they were all eating lunch, said, "We have an announcement to make." And they had the Commander-in-Chief trophy. And at the game, they ended up winning the game. They were going to get the trophy anyway, but they just got it a little early. And
that's pretty great.
And my daughter said the place went
How in the world
insane.
How did he pull that off?
Incredible prank. Incredible.
And didn't involve killing a falcon.
It did not involve livestock. PETA did not have to put out a statement.
I'm sure PETA was still mad for some reason. It doesn't.
So the bottom line is people are pretty hyped for this Army-Navy guy. I just checked. The tickets are going for a fortune right now. It's going to be a hell of a game. The president is going to be there. And by the way, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, who is an Army veteran, has already made a public statement. He's rooting for Navy at this game, which is shocking.
Wow.
I know. So there you have it. It's going to be a big game. And Bill the Goat is safe and sound and acting like a goat. It is 7:24.
Coming up, we're going to talk to Kurt Schlichter, senior columnist at Town Hall, about his new book, Panama Red. Keep it here, 7:30.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now. Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
7:37 now as our morning extravaganza rolls on. Thanks for letting us be a part of your morning routine, whether you're going to work, dropping the kids off at school. By the way, if you're part of the carpool there where you have to drive in the right way in front of the school for drop-off, you know, where it gets like there's like Tim Wall-style Nazis in charge of, you're going the wrong way. Make sure you turn us up and roll down the windows because I want them all to hear what we're talking about, especially Julie Gunlock with our guest, Kurt Schlichter. Don't you think all the kids in middle school need a little dose of Schlichter before they start their day? Imagine
I sure do.
Imagine if Kurt Schlichter were like the head of the PTA or like, you know, one of the parents at the parent-teacher conference or something. But those days are behind you now. Kurt, my friend, thank you for joining us, and congratulations. Your brand new book out today, Panama Red. This is the 8th in the Kelly Turnbull series. And I want to get into the details of the book, but quickly as an overview, Kelly finds himself in international conflict here, going as far as Dublin, Panama, and Mogadishu, Minnesota.
Damn right. Oh, my gosh. I'm so happy. I couldn't be happier if I was driving a car past Tim Waltz's house and screaming what he is out the window.
Well, imagine you are, without the profanity. Give us a quick thumbnail of what Kelly Turnbull is up to in this book.
Shooting communists, laying down snark. It's funny, it's fast, it's locked, it's loaded. It's the 9th Kelly Turnbull People's Republic book.
9th. I'm sorry, I thought it was 8. I apologize. I've lost track. Man, that's
it is 9. Inspired, of course, by our mutual pal Andrew Breitbart, who said we got to go out and make our own culture. And I got sick of boring books about spies and action that all seem the same, and that were often written by never Trumpers. And I decided I'd write my own. That was People's Republic. And, dude, I've sold hundreds of thousands of them.
You have. You've done insanely well.
Tons more.
Very, very well. And I'm really, really happy for you. Why is that funny? Don't read into it.
Is it because of the cameos with Larry O'Connor? Because
I do make an appearance, and it's always a bit of an Easter egg as I'm reading them. As there I am. And it's usually pretty flattering, actually. I have to say.
Well, this one involves show tunes.
Oh, good.
And they're singing.
Well, the book is called Panama Red, and it is. It is already the #1 new release in political thrillers and suspense. Today's the day to get it, so get it. And I want to get into that. We're going to hold you over for a second segment because there's a lot to talk to you about. I'd love for you to chime in on sort of how this whole double tap, kill strike, Nuremberg trial war crime story seems to have petered out a little bit. Mark Kelly doesn't quite seem to be in the same place he was a week ago on this one.
The thumb, the best.
Yeah, the thumb. Yeah, yesterday he actually puts up a tweet saying, "When I commanded the space shuttle, I used to ask for my crew to give me input, even if they disagreed with me." And I'm like, "So you commanded 7 people?"
And by the way, doesn't Houston call most of the shots anyway on those missions?
Yeah, exactly.
Spam in a can. Yeah, he's the light stuff.
Yeah. But the way this worked out here, do you consider this kind of a validation for the military? We still have Adam Schiff and Tammy Duckworth claiming this was a war crime, even though they admit they actually haven't seen the evidence or heard the testimony of this admiral who appears by every measure to be a badass.
What a war crime is. Yeah, I want to thank the politicians and people of Twitter who were epidemiologists under COVID and economists when the terrorists came out. Now they're all experts on the law of war. Here's the giveaway. When they start talking about the Geneva Convention, of course, next question is, well, which one? There are several. And why do you believe they apply to a non-state illegal combatant actor? At which point they look at you and go, "You're a transphobe."
Right, pretty much. Pretty much, but finally the truth has come out on this. In a weird way, I got to think that this whole escapade, by bringing attention to what the military is doing, the way they're doing it, and the fact that the Secretary of War and the Commander-in-Chief stood by the actions of our military, these SEALs and everyone who supported the SEALs, I got to think once again that this will end up being a boon for recruitment for the military. Because I know a lot of young men who watch this and say, oh, hell yeah, I want to be a part of that.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it's like, okay, Democrats, let's get together. I've got 2 great ideas. The first, we're going to side with drug dealers against Americans. The next, we're going to fly down to Texas and help Jasmine Crockett run for Senate. So,
Kurt,
we got some great ideas.
The 2 are not unrelated.
But this thing's petered out quicker than a Bulwark staffer on his wedding night. And
there we go. There it was. Hey, it only took 6 minutes.
Okay.
They wish.
All right. Hold that thought.
Wow.
We have
and
more.
that includes the 5 minutes of crying that constitutes foreplay.
I meant 6 minutes to our enlightening interview with Kurt Schlichter, senior columnist at Town Hall, retired Army infantry colonel, shock, and also author of the brand new book, Panama Red, out today. All right, more about Panama Red and more stuff going on in the news with Kurt in just a moment. It's 7:43.
Making sense of your world.
I agree with you 100%.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
There's a lot of us out there.
Making sense of the news.
Later this morning on the Chris Plant Show, they're on the horns of a dilemma. Who do the Democrats love more, Luigi Mangione or Venezuelan narco-terrorists? 9 a.m. on WMAL.
It's a tough call. Kurt Schlichter is a senior columnist at Town Hall, retired Army infantry colonel, retired attorney, and now best-selling author. His latest book, the 9th in the Kelly Turnbull series, Panama Red, available now. Buy it. Thank you very much for your attention to this matter. Okay, Julie, good luck.
I'm still reeling from that last segment. The seditious 6, Slotkin, the thumb, that seems to have fallen off the news cycle a little bit. Is there going to be any costs for what they did, which is, many of us see that as seditious. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. I think Mark Kelly's still subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice as a retired active duty guy. I retired from the California Army National Guard, so too bad, next Democrat president. You don't get to screw with me. I do think there are there is the potential for charges. I don't know if that's a great idea, but the potential's there. There's various disrespect to the commander-in-chief, various charges about, trying to get people to violate orders, and also being short and kind of ugly looking, which is, I think that's Article 69. I don't know.
Always that,
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he's just a clown. Yeah. Okay, I mean, it's just, and he so clearly wants to be president, and he thinks this is the way. And you see this with the Democrats. You see Newsom out there. Oh, well, I'll get a bunch of social media dorks to make an impression. Oh, I'm Adam Schiff. or I'm Eric Swalwell. I'll do those little painful videos where they surprise him walking, and then this is his thing. They're all trying to get attention. And but not for achievements. It's just embarrassing.
It tells you about the Democrats now, though, that this is, Mark Kelly, this is how you get attention. And, of course, he wraps himself in his military service. And this has become so dishonorable, this escapade, that it's like, John Kerry is looking at it thinking, dude, rein it in a little bit. You got to be more respectful of the military. The guy who chucked his medals over the fence.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for him to bust out the Gengis.
Hey, Kurt, back to Panama Red and this brand new book here, the 9th in the series of The People's Republic. That's the Kelly Turnbull novels. If someone has never read your books before, they hear this incredible exchange of ours on this program and they think, okay, maybe I'll start with this one, or maybe I'll get this for Dad or my brother or Grandpa, or my son for that matter. But can they start with this book? Do you want them to go back to book one? What do they need to know?
Well, first of all, the misgendering that you've demonstrated is terrifying.
What did I do?
Well, you said son.
Oh, I apologize. You're right.
Why are you assuming a penis means anything?
I forgot that you're in California.
Yes, that is true. I'm back in California. Look, the People's Republic books, America has split in two. There is a red America and a blue America. Kelly Turnbull specializes in going into blue America doing missions. And you can start from the first one, which is People's Republic, or you could actually start with Panama Red. You do not need an encyclopedic knowledge of the canon. And in fact, the canon changes because things have changed.
Yeah,
Hillary Clinton did not end up being president. And I have, for the obsessives, the Star Trek fans going, excuse me, Captain Kirk's Social Security number is 1235, not 21234. I actually warned them in the acknowledgments or the preface. Lighten up, kiss a girl.
Yes. So there are literally some people out there that know the ins and outs of the Kelly Turnbull universe better than you do, and they call you on it.
Oh, yes. Yes, they will literally go, you remember the time that Kelly Turnbull was wearing shoes?
You're like, actually, no, I don't remember that. Get a life. All right.
I'm busy. My wife used to be a model. Okay, that's my priority.
So I guess the answer here for everybody who's looking for a Christmas present or a Hanukkah gift or just
Kwanzaa.
A good read. Or writes his Kwanzaa read. Yeah, what you want, you buy Panama Red. Here's my. I'll give you the advice. Uncle Larry will give you the advice because Kurt's, doesn't know what he's doing. Here's what you want to do: buy Panama Red as the gift. This is the gateway drug. Get this book for whoever's on your list, and as soon as they read it, they're going to want to go back to book one and catch up, and they will. And then they'll do that on their own. You get them this book, and the rest will happen on its own. Kurt, congrats, my friend. Great job, and I'm very excited for you, and just in time for Christmas. Nice timing there, big guy. Well done.
Well, I appreciate you helping me pimp my book, putting it out on the street, and saying, bring me my money.
Well, yeah, I'm doing that. It's nothing noble about it. When I see you next, you're buying. It is 7:54.